This presentation is part of a series of compliance tips for operator license holders and is aimed at steps operators should be taking in relation to their driver daily walk-around checks and the monitoring and auditing of these checks to ensure they are effective. Everything mentioned in this presentation will have been offered as evidence of compliance at previous disciplinary public inquiries. This slide shows the Specimen driver defect sheet which drivers should be filling out every time they get in their vehicle or hitch up to a trailer. The drivers should be using this sheet as a checklist as they walk around to inspect the vehicles. The drivers should be recording any defects they find on the sheet. The sheet should then be handed into the transport office and any repairs rectified before the vehicle is put into use. The action taken should be documented on the sheet and signed and dated. Operators should provide drivers with clear written instructions on the walk-around procedure. Drivers should sign a register when they receive these written instructions. The DVSA has produced guidance and a diagram showing what needs to be checked, which can also be utilised. Drivers should be shown the DVSA video on walk-around checks, which is available on YouTube. Drivers should then sign an attendance register to acknowledge that they've received training. Operators should also provide toolbox talk training on walk-around checks periodically or if a specific issue comes to light. Again, this should be documented. Operators should not rely on the driver CPC course to ensure their drivers are trained on walk-around checks. Drivers failing to undertake a proper walk-around check is probably the most common failing which comes to light with operators attending a public inquiry. As with PMI sheets, the operator or transport manager should check that the sheet the driver is using has been filled in correctly. This will include checking that all relevant boxes are completed and that any defects are rectified and documented on the sheet. Vehicles shouldn't be allowed to go on the road if there are defects. There are three ways operators can monitor their drivers' walk-around checks. The first way is to undertake random gate checks. An appropriate person, for example the transport manager, director or fitter, should make an unannounced check on the driver after that driver has completed the check. They should undertake the exact same walk-around check to see if the driver has missed anything. If the driver has, then investigate and take appropriate action, for example retraining or disciplinary action. As with everything else, this should be documented. The number of random audits can be increased or decreased depending on the issues the operator has with defect reporting. The second method of checking driver defect reporting is to check the PMI sheets. And what you're looking for is driver detectable faults because they shouldn't be appearing on a PMI sheet. And certainly if they are, then that needs to be investigated and the reasons for that need to be fully understood. Is it because the driver didn't do their checks correctly? Or is it just a defect that has manifested itself between the last driver check and the moment the vehicle is PMI'd? Cross-reference the PMI sheets with the most recent driver defect sheet, and if the defect wasn't recorded on the driver defect sheet, investigate what happened. Take appropriate action as required, such as training or disciplinary action. This same process should happen with every PMI. The final way to monitor driver defect reporting is to run the tachograph lead-in report to ensure drivers are spending 10 to 15 minutes on their checks. Any drivers who aren't spending adequate time doing their checks need to be retrained or disciplined. We hope this short presentation has been helpful. Please like this presentation or leave your comments. Please subscribe to this channel and encourage your drivers and managers to do likewise. When you subscribe, you are automatically alerted when we add new presentations to our channel. It may well be that if you are ever called to a public inquiry, you might want to make reference to this subscription as evidence of the proactive steps you took to ensure compliance with your operator license undertakings.